Okay, so I've been trained in 8 different orientations, and CBT was one. And the person who I trained under predominantly in CBT learned from, like he trained under Aaron Beck, the creator of
Wow.
CBT. Yes. So my lineage is pretty solid. Because a lot of my colleagues who, let's say, were more humanistic or psychodynamic, they hated CBT, but they didn't know enough about it. It just seemed, as you say, shallow, superficial. So they were going from, let's say, I think they were a bit prejudiced against it, whereas I was like balls deep in it, and I got to see all the limitations straight up. Okay, so or firsthand. So my thoughts on CBT. I say that CBT, and this is part of my when I'm teaching about it, I do this long spiel. I won't get do the long spiel, but in the end, when I'm lecturing to my students, I say, okay, and here's the final point of the story, and I say, write this down very clearly. I say CBT is very effective for those for whom it's very effective. Okay. And I watch students, they're kind of like some of them just writing down, they're not thinking, others processing, what did you just say? And I say, and that's a fact. If it gels with your way of thinking, if you're the kind of person, and by the way, I am, okay, I think about 5% of people can really do well with CBT in the sense of if someone says to you, hey, stupid, I mean, I'm being a bit harsh here, okay, but this is what's wrong with your thinking. Smarten up, do it better. And they don't care about, they're not worried about the feelings being hurt or whatever. They just want a solution. All right. They want to be told, here's where the flaw is. Here's how you correct it. So someone who's like that, which I'm just estimating about 5% of the population, it works very well. Okay. Engineers love CBT because they're very,
Analytical.
very analytical in that regard, right? Logic based. So you tell them that, they go, okay, I get that. So CBT, by the way, it's not necessarily a problem of CBT. It's more of how it's administered. So I've had so many, and I alluded to this earlier. So I've seen many therapists. And again, I was working in a place where it was all CBT, and I saw the people training it, and I saw the people doing it, and I saw the shortfalls of it, which is it basically, again, it assumes that this solution, this algorithm works for everybody, regardless of who the person is, regardless of where they are. And there's a lot of shame in it because CBT, the thing that made it unique when it first came out was unlike every other therapy where the presumption was that the magic works in session. Right, the client-therapist relationship. That's where the change can happen. CBT said, no. It happens outside of session. You take what you learn and you apply it through homework. And so I saw so many patients, whether it was in my groups or others. Actually, my group was different. I'll tell you about it afterwards. But where they felt so much shame because they weren't able to, let's say, challenge themselves.